Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on GT Sport. We're back with a daily race C at Le Mans in the X 2019, and we have quite a big incident in this one. So if you do enjoy these videos, do subscribe, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments what you thought about this incident you're about to see. It was a pretty crazy incident. I don't know why he did it, but let's get on with this race. So starting from P2, let's see what happens at the start in the X 2019. So P1 gets a bit of a jump start there. He's going to get held back. We get a nice start, and we're up into P1 straight away. So yeah, we've got a bit of a gap to the cars behind us going into the braking zone. But as we come into the braking zone, everyone goes to try and win that race on turn one as usual. And there's a bit of contact there. We get pushed wide, and I decide to cut the corner. Now this is a very good tip for you. If you ever get hit into a corner like that and there's contact, you can cut the corner. Now you will get dirty tyres. So you can see my car really struggling, but I know it's going to get that. And you can see I'm just being very careful, not really pushing because we will spin if we do. But you are able to cut the corner and not pick up a penalty, because Gran Turismo's system knows when there's contact into a corner like that. So instead of trying to hold the track and getting pushed and spun around and losing 15 positions, just cut the corner like we did there. We hold on to P1, we avoid any further incidents, and you don't get a penalty. So that's my little top tip of the day. But yeah, make sure you do that. But yeah, into this race now, we've got P1, we've got two cars behind us, and we just moved out of the slipstream there because I didn't really want people to bump draft too much. However, it did work out that it was okay in the end. It's a weird system that was on this race this week with the bump drafting. But yeah, we're holding on to P2. We've got Miamu back right behind us now. He's in that slipstream. You can see there right behind us. So we're going to fast forward the action again on the straight as he's picking up that slipstream. We gain a bit on the chicane because he's got that dirty air behind us. And now again, he's got that slipstream. Now watch in the mirror, he pulls over to the left because he wants to pick up the slipstream at the right point. So what he does here, he goes for it now, and he actually, I think he misjudged this slightly because he's only just getting past us and we've still got the inside line. We're going to try and hold that inside line, brake early, let him have the inside, and try and do a bit of a cut back on Miamu. However, we don't get quite a strong enough exit, but we're going to go for a little fake there just to try and put him off a little bit. We're not actually going to send it, and that means we can just stay right behind him now and get back into that slipstream and go for the move to get back into P1. So we're going to go for our usual move when we're behind them. We're going to go to the left, fake it, and then back up the inside, and this gives us the inside line into the next right hand corner, which is pretty much flat out. However, Miamu managed to hangs it around the outside, which means we're going to have to be a bit careful there and give him the space. But luckily we managed to get into P1, and again, look at how amazing these cars look at this track driving flat out through here. Absolutely amazing visuals. And yeah, this is going to be an exciting race, hopefully. So we went through here, back into P1, and we've actually given ourselves a bit of a lead now. We can see we've actually broke the slipstream there as we look in the mirror. I think Miamu might have picked up a penalty, and we've got that lead up to 1.2 seconds. So now, just taking it a little bit cautious on the chicane. We don't want to pick up a penalty. Again, up into this section, this corner, an absolute nightmare at this track, and we managed to do that reasonably well. We don't push too much. I take it quite easy, and then onto the straight, working our way back up here. We can see we've got a nice gap to the cars behind. However, going into this corner here, we have a big moment. We try and push really aggressively through him. We have a bit of a moment on the rear, and then it snaps the other way. We try and save it, and we're into the barrier now. Luckily, we managed to keep it pointing in the right direction and managed to pick up Miamu's slipstream again there. So, got away with that one. We're still involved with this race, and we've now got F by Ella right behind us, and we're getting to get that slipstream right back from Miamu, and luckily we actually get ourselves back into P1, so on the inside line, and now we just got to brake as late as possible. We carry a lot of speed into the apex and manage to get ourselves into the lead, and we look behind, and there's a little bit of battling between F by Ella and Miamu, but nothing too aggressive. It's nice and calm there, and F by Ella gets himself up into P2 and just about manages to hang on to the slipstream there. So again, so close to breaking that slip, but yeah, he's still got it. He's going to gain on us all the way down this straight into the braking zone. He's down under half a second, and then into the braking zone. You see he gets very late on the brakes there. We get a better exit. However, even with that better exit, that is not going to really be good enough to hold him off. So you can see he's got the slipstream behind us, and he's going to work his way right behind, and now he's going to go for a move on the left hand side, and Miamu goes for a move also. Now this is possibly the start of where the incident happens, what happens to it all. You see, if anyone needs to be a bit annoyed in that move, I think by Miamu, it would be myself. However, this one now, Miamu again goes for a bit of a weird move. I don't think that was on there. It wasn't really open for an overtake, and there's a bit of contact. However, Miamu does back out, pick up the slipstream to F by Ella, and gives him the bump draft to get him back into the lead. So in fairness, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, F by Ella did get hit. It was a bit frustrating, but it's not worth reacting in a really bad way. You can see F by Ella back into the lead, and now Miyamu and myself are going to go side by side all the way through here. You can see side by side, trying to keep it together, and this is absolutely brilliant racing all the way through the corner. We eventually have to back out and let him take that position, because it comes a point on that corner where you just can't go side by side anymore. Now we do try and get back in that slipstream and maybe have a look up the inside here, but we're a bit too far back, and now we've just got to try and keep it nice and smooth through without picking up a penalty. So again, a little bit of an awkward line through the chicane, but luckily managed to get through there with no penalties, and now we're back down to P3. However, this race is not over. Now, like I say, I don't really think that Miyamu did anything too drastically wrong. It was a little bit optimistic, both moves, I think. And yeah, P1 didn't really need to get too annoyed at it. However, as we come through there, P1 has actually picked up a penalty on the chicane that it's just so random, the penalty system. It's very difficult when you're trying to push 100%. But we've got that dirty air to Miyamu now. This is going to lose us a bit of time through this section. See, Miyamu is really driving aggressive. And as we come on the exit there, I have to take it really cautious, and I don't really hook it up, and we actually lost the slipstream there. However, as we're coming through here, you can see we kept gaining on the corners, but then on the straights, Miyamu's got that slipstream to F by Ella, and he's going to go for a move, for an overtake on the straight, which would seem fairly easy and simple to do. However, looking ahead here, he goes for a move, and F by Ella just completely smashes him into the barrier, and Miyamu is spinning around. He's out the race pretty much, his tyres will be dead. And I was absolutely gobsmacked at that, because in my opinion, there was just nothing to say that he should be doing that kind of move. So we watch it again from Miyamu's point of view. You can see as we work our way up the straight here now, he's going to go for an overtake, and he's probably thinking this is going to be a nice smooth overtake, and F by Ella is like, no it's not, you're going into the barrier and joining the shadow realm. But yeah, completely wiped out, and I would be rightfully a bit annoyed if I was Miyamu at that, because it didn't really deserve it. And this is why, because as we watch the action, if anyone needed to be a bit annoyed at this move here, that would probably be myself. You can see I got hit, nearly pushed into the gravel, and then F by Ella there. This is probably where he got a bit frustrated. This was a very optimistic. I don't really think that was even on that move. However, he does back out, and he does give him the bump draft all the way up the straight and gets him back into the lead. So yeah, you can be a bit frustrated, but at the end of the day, your race has not been ruined. We're all still in the action, and it's a great race. This race could have carried on to being one of the best races we had all week. However, the actions of F by Ella kind of ruined that. I'm hoping that he's a bit regretful of that, because it was a really good battle. But as we can see through here, this was great racing with myself and Miyamu side by side, all the way through the corner, trying to hang it around the outside. And we had to give him space in the end. You can see I kind of back out there. But yeah, brilliant racing. But we rejoin the action in P2, and you can see we're about 1.3, 1.4 seconds behind P1. Now, at this stage, I was just a bit like, what the hell has just happened? Like, it was absolutely crazy. But we're going to try and drive as well as we can to catch P1 up. We did know from previous races that P1 was very, very quick round here. He was doing 17.6s and 5s in the race. And my pace, we managed to get in the 17s a couple of times, but this track never really gels with me fully. But we're going to keep on pushing and see if we can put P1 under some pressure and see if we can get that lead back in this race. Now, like I said, I'm going to have to drive pretty well here to try and stay with him. So trying to push as much as we can, and still in a bit of amazement at what we just saw, because you don't very often see that on GT Sport in a top split lobby with very good drivers that are, fast. Normally, you'll get a little bit of contact, when you're overtaking, but there's never, with really top split drivers. Now, F by Ella is a top split driver. It's very unusual to see that kind of behaviour, and I'm sure he just had a bit of a Momo's moment of past. Maybe he'll regret that, and I'm sure, hopefully they would have spoke to each other and sorted it out. But yeah, a little bit wrong. But as we come through the final chicane, just trying to keep it nice and smooth. You can see that F by Ella actually does that a little bit weird. We actually get a really good exit off that final chicane and go over the line with fastest lap of the race. Now, it wasn't actually an amazing lap. However, it is still the fastest lap. Obviously, they had the incident when they took each other out, and F by Ella had the penalty also on that previous lap. So again, through here, you can see how cautious I'm being on the penalties, because one penalty could ruin our chance at getting a win here. So we're just trying to keep it nice and smooth and try and avoid getting any sort of penalty as we work our way through this first sector, keeping it nice and smooth. Early upshift to 5th gear. Big moment on the throttle there. You can see where the rears just wanted to give way on me. But luckily we managed to hold it on the track, and F by Ella does gain a little bit of time on us there. He actually gains about a tenth and a half. So we're going to skip ahead to the end of lap 4. And as we're coming through here, again, trying to keep it nice and smooth. We don't want to pick up a penalty. We're going to be starting the last lap in this race. And I really wanted to get the win in this race. You can see the gap is down. Well, it's pretty much static. It stayed pretty much static the whole race. It's at 1.4 seconds again. So we're not losing too much time to P1. So as long as we don't pick up a penalty, you never know what can happen in this race. P1 can easily pick up a time penalty. He already had one earlier in the race. So as we come through here again, being a little bit cautious on the corner. We actually caught the second part a little bit there. We took a risk, but we actually gained 2 tenths on there. I was actually pushing really aggressive at this stage because I really wanted to pick up that slipstream. If we pick up the slipstream, the race is on. And you can see P1 is also pushing quite aggressively there. We got the gap down to 1.1, 1.2 seconds. We actually go through with a purple sector there and work our way onto the straight there. And now, again, fast forward in the action as we're just staying pretty static, the gap around 1.2 seconds. And now onto this next chicane again, trying to be nice and smooth, trying to make sure we don't pick up any sort of penalty. And again, onto the throttle nice and early. And we can see he has actually gained 2 tenths on us there. Now, we did start to figure out that corner a bit by the end of the week because I wasn't cutting it enough on the exit of the chicane. But again, into the braking zone for the next chicane. Let's see what happens here. Gap at 1.4 seconds. Can we somehow manage to get close to him? But as we come through here, we see that it looks like he may have cut the exit or the entry onto the chicane there. And he's picked himself up a 1 second penalty. Now, people say karma returns, and I do think that is a bit of karma for what he did to Miamu. Now, unfortunately, Miamu isn't going to overtake him, but we're going to try our best to see if we can overtake him when he takes that penalty. Let's see what we can do. Into the braking zone. Trying to keep it nice and smooth now because I know that he's got a 1 second penalty, which is going to cost him quite a lot of time. So we don't want to take any big risks. We just want to keep it nice and smooth and just make sure that we're there to try and get ourselves into the lead of the race on the final lap. So fast forward in the action on the straight and we come to the really fast flowing corner and then into this left hand corner where a little downshift to third gear. Try and keep it nice and smooth. And we're actually in pretty good zone here to get ourselves into P1. You can see that P1 is pushing to obviously try and build that lead up. But we get a good exit off the corner, and he's going to take that 1 second penalty, which is going to really hurt him. We're going to pick up the slipstream. He's going to go defensive to the right-hand side of the track. However, we should have no problem. We go to the left, and then we tuck up the inside, and now we've got the inside line into the really fast corner, and we see we've actually got ourselves well ahead here, and now flat out all the way through here. Just keep it nice and smooth, and we should be able to take the win, because once the car's in your dirty air that's coming off your car, they're going to struggle to follow you through this section. So, again, keep it nice and smooth. Don't take any big risks through here. We could have gone faster, but we keep it nice and smooth through there. And now into the final section again. Do not get a penalty. This section is pretty easy to pick up a penalty if you really drive it aggressive. Keeping it smooth, down to second gear, and just trying to be cautious again on the curbs as we work our way up to the finishing line. And we actually go over the line with the fastest lap of the race and P1. So we got ourselves back up to P1. Unfortunate for Miamu there. A little bit disappointing to see because I don't want to see that type of race in top split, but it is what it is. Hopefully they can sort it out, but it was an overreaction, I think, a massive overreaction. But let me know in the comment section what you think about that. I think it was a massive overreaction. I don't think it was needed. There was a bit of contact with Miamu and F by Ella, but he let him back through and there was no time lost for F by Ella, so yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, but I will see you all for more live streams and videos in the future. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.